What's going on, guys? So today I'm gonna be showing you guys the cards that I think every player should use in this game. At least the 3 cards I think every player should use. Obviously there's a lot of cards that a lot of people think you should use in this game, but these are the main 3 that I think if you don't have these on your deck, you're probably gonna lose. I think you can go without the last one, but the first 2 are pretty important. Now, I'm not claiming to be the best at this game. I'm not claiming to be, you know, #1 in the world, but I do have 2K trophies, which I think that's basically decent. Yeah, I mean, I have some experience with the game. I'm in Arena 7, and yeah, so I hope you guys kind of listen to my tips here. But I figured if you guys want to see more of these, drop a like on the video. There's a lot of ideas I have for this game and a lot of things I want to share with you guys. I've been playing this game non-stop, basically, for the past few months, and I figured I'd show you guys my top 3 favorite cards. So if you guys didn't know, I have a clan here. It's called Fusion Z, and it's mostly made of my friends from school. And one of the questions they always ask me, I've literally had this asked to me probably 3 or 4 times, is what cards I recommend they use. You know, they always come to me and they're like, I'm losing fights, you know, I can't gain trophies, I'm stuck at this trophy rank, you know, I'm stuck at the 500 trophy rank, I'm stuck at the 800 trophy rank, what am I doing wrong, what can I do to actually, you know, get higher up on the leaderboards? So I'm not going to show you guys these super rare cards. I'm going to show you guys maybe, like, for instance, if I say the Golem, I'm going to show you guys, or, you know, give you guys other options that aren't as expensive, because obviously the Golem is a very rare card to get. Even though I do have every card in the game, most people obviously don't. So I'm going to give you guys different options, but these are the top 3 cards I think every person that plays this game should use. And if you don't, I mean, I want to know what you use besides this and what rank you guys are. But anyways, so let's start off at number 1. I think this is probably the most important thing any player should use is arrows. It doesn't necessarily have to be arrows, but it can basically be anything that can take out small groups of enemies, like the skeleton army or the minion horde or even the spear goblins. All of the 3 I just showed you can be taken out by one set of arrows. And this can be very good because of the fact that if most decks consist of a tank, such as the giant skeleton or the golem or something along those lines, if you see my decks, most of them consist of this. And well, if you use one of these, most likely they're going to use a minion horde behind it, or, you know, a spear goblin. Anything like that, they're going to use behind it. And if you have arrows, you're able to completely cancel that out and stop them from actually using that. Or if it's vice versa, where you use a golem and they use a skeleton army, because that's one of the things I use. Most people, they don't have arrows, and I have no idea why. Because if I use a golem, if they use a golem on me and I use a skeleton army, their golem's basically dead, because that skeleton army is going to stop them from moving. And if I mix that with one of the other things that's on this list, freeze, they're done for. You know, I'm going to stop them in their tracks, and I'm going to be able to counter it. So that's one of the things I think every player should use. I personally use arrows, but like I said before, there's other options such as the fireball or the lightning or anything along those lines that just kind of does area of effect damage. I don't know about these other ones. I really don't use them, such as poison and lightning and stuff like that. My personal favorite, like I said before, is the arrows. I think it does a lot of work, and I think it's very good. And if you don't have it, I mean, it's going to be very hard to counter and even attack, because like I said before, most people, they use a skeleton army or the minion horde, and these things do a ton of damage, and they can be very hard to take out, especially if you only have ground units. But if you have arrows, they're dead with 1 hit. And the arrows are so cheap. I mean, 3 elixir, come on, that's really good. Anyways, number 2, this is probably one of the things that I think every player should also have, because of the reasons, not really, well, because of how online is at the moment. And I say at the moment because this game is constantly getting buffed, nerfed, you know, things in the game are constantly changing. So one of the things that's very powerful right now is the Hog Rider. And what people are using is the free spell and the Hog Rider. If you use this, well, you're kind of a scumbag, but you're also very smart, because this is a very powerful thing at the moment. And that's why I have to say freeze is definitely number 2, or not number 2, the cannon or any sort of thing to distract that. Because what people do is, if you don't have a cannon or you don't have something, you know, beside your tower that's going to distract them and have them head towards the distractions of your main tower, you're going to lose that tower, because they're going to use the Hog Rider and the freeze. They're going to freeze everything, and the Hog Rider is just going to go to town on your tower. But if you have something like a cannon, which is my personal favorite, but there's other options, such as if we go down here. Oh, sorry if it's really blurry too. Like I said before, the screen recorder, not the best. I'm gonna try to get a better one. But if you have something like the bomb tower or even the Tesla tower, anything along these lines, I see a lot of people using the Inferno tower. Anything along these lines will actually divert them from going to your tower and they'll head to that instead and actually damage that instead, and your tower will actually be able to survive, and you have enough time to counter that. Because for me, the cannon is only 3 elixirs, so that leaves me a lot of elixir extra, especially me mixing it with my elixir collector. I know a lot of people don't have that, which is why I'm not going to mention that, but it leaves me a lot of elixir extra, so when they go to attack this cannon, I can then counter and use a skeleton army, or I can counter and use, you know, a goblin or a minion horde, or anything along those lines, even a mini P.E.K.K.A, you know, anything that you guys might want to use, you can actually counter that. And like I said before, if you're playing online right now, that is the most used thing, at least from what I've seen. I've played a total of like a ton of games so far, and the most used thing is freeze and the hog rider, and this is a great way to counter it. And not only that, but it counters basically anything else, especially when they use, like, people that like to use the huts, the minion huts or whatever, you know, with the skeleton hut where it spawns in the skeletons, or the spear goblins, the cannon is actually able to one-hit them basically, or two-hit them at that, and it can definitely just help you out a lot and definitely save you in a lot of situations. Like I said before, not even the whatchamacallit, the hog rider. It can also stop things like the skeleton king right here, as you can see, or the giant skeleton. I forget their names sometimes, but the giant skeleton, because if this thing gets close to your tower, he's going to drop that bomb. It doesn't even matter if he hits it. That bomb is going to do so much damage that you just don't want it to get anywhere near your tower. But if you use that thing, that diversion, it'll send him away from the tower. Then you have enough time to kill him, and then you actually save a tower. So it's just one of the things that I think is very necessary for distracting and even taking out, you know, smaller units. Number 3, this is one of the ones that, like I said before, it's being used a lot right now, and most people don't have it. Actually, most people do have it, but I want to put it at number 3 because it's not one of those things that a lot of people have. Even though it is being used a lot of people don't have it. So this is the freeze spell. This thing is extremely overpowered right now, especially if you're, for instance, if you somehow get matched up with someone at a lower rank or a lower level. If you have this thing at any higher level than, you know, their units, like for instance, I have mine at level 3. That's a pretty decent level. This thing is very, very powerful. You place this thing down, and let's say I decide to rush with a golem and a minion horde. You know, it's the last 60 seconds. I've got a lot of elixir. I rush with those two. They try to counter it once I get to the tower. I place freeze down. It's going to freeze them. Let's see how long it freezes them for, actually. It freezes them for 5.6 seconds, and it has a 3 radius. This thing is completely OP. You place this down. If they're within that circle, you're going to get that tower. And if you have the right units, like let's say if you're not using a golem, but you're using something that can actually attack them, such as the giant skeleton or anything like that, you know, like let's say I decide to do a minion horde and a skeleton army along with, you know, a baby dragon. If I freeze them, there's no way they're going to win that. I'm going to completely destroy them, especially if they don't have freeze or arrows or anything to distract it, basically. You're going to win that fight just because of how OP freeze is right now at the moment. It's one of those things that's probably going to end up getting nerfed, but at the moment, like I said before, this thing is very, very powerful, and it's one of the reasons why I have it in my main deck and even my other decks too, because it's just like I said before, if you're going to do a rush, like I said before, most people are actually doing the hog rider and freeze because you just get the hog rider up there. Obviously, he ignores everything. Once they try to stop it, if you don't have a ranged unit, they're going to have to actually try to rush the hog rider, and then he just freezes them, and he basically gets your tower. Now, like I said before, you can stop that by using a cannon, but I mean, it's risky, and it's one of those things that it pays off if they don't have those units. Like if they don't have a cannon or they don't have arrows, you're gonna get that tower. And like I said before, it's not only useful for that, you can use it on other things too, like any sort of push. It is one of the most strong things in the game right now. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Like I said before, I just want to show you guys the top 3 things I think are, you know, most important to have in your deck. There's other things I can mention. If you guys want more videos like this, I figured I'll start this one off, and if you guys want to see more, hit that like button down below, and of course comment. But yeah, like my favorite decks, or what I think is the most OP card in the game. I have a lot of opinions on this game. I play a lot of this game, and yeah, I figured I'd share with you guys. Also, if you have over, I think I'm going to set it to 2,000 trophies, because I'm sure a lot of people that watch this are going to have a lot of trophies, and at the moment our clan is pretty full. If you have over 2,000 trophies and you actually want to join my clan, obviously just look it up and join it. I'll set it to 2,000 right now at the time of making this video, so if you guys want to join, go ahead and join it. And yeah, that's it though. If you guys want to see, you know, some gameplay using these cards or whatever, of course tell me and I will. But that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.